what is something painful that God has used in your life?
There's purpose in the pain. One thing is that I battled so much of competing to be loved and seeing if I matter. Why am I here? Not understanding, right? I feel so alone my entire life.
How do we silence those internal voices?
Know where it's originating from. And first, God said that my sheep know my voice, right? And so when you hear the enemy tell you something that you're not, you counteract that and tell him what you are.
What advice would you give someone who is afraid to do it?
God already knew what you were going to do before you did it. God has already everything is already set up for you. All you have to do is just get out your own way and trust God. God is about to blow your mind in this season. And you have to just do it. Do it afraid, do it scared, do it by yourself without anybody else. Just do it.
Hi, and welcome back to another episode and another season of the Woman Witness podcast on the Woman Witness TV network. I'm your host, Leah Fortier. Here on this platform, we bring to you voices of dynamic women that are out there making a positive impact in their lives, in their family, and the community around them. Women of faith, women of resilience, women who have battled through something, and they are bold enough, strong enough to turn around, grab the hand of another sister, and be a witness. Today, guys, I am so excited to introduce to you my guest today, Ms. Tasia Lewis. She's also known as DATRUTH. She is a faith-driven creative speaker and an entrepreneur and the founder of I Was Made for This LLC, a purpose-centered brand created to remind people just who they are and why they are here. Tasia is known for raw, faith-rooted conversations around identity, resilience, and purpose, and especially for those who are navigating seasons of disappointment, delay, and healing. She speaks honestly about what it looks like to walk in faith in a real world, in real life, and not just quote scriptures, but to live them through confidence, calling, and obedience. Guys, this conversation is real. It's no fluff. It's just the truth. So today, I'm so excited to introduce you my guest today, Miss Tasia Lewis. Hey, Tasia, welcome to the Well. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I am so good, Tasia. I told you before we pressed record today, I'm so excited again to what you're doing. I love what you are doing. And right now is the season. I feel like we all made our New Year's resolutions. We all are moving and we're getting stuck. And like, some of those things that, well, it's not supposed to be like this. It's supposed to be like this. It's supposed to be like my vision board. It's supposed to be like what I imagined it. And sometimes that's not happening. So I want to get into this conversation about navigating those seasons of disappointment and still walking and living in our truth. But before we get started, I want you to introduce yourself to some of those listeners who may not know you. Tell us a little bit about who you are. How would you describe yourself beyond your roles and your titles?
Honestly, I would describe myself as activation, a fire starter, atmosphere shifter, anything that you can name. Like that's literally me, the one-stop shop.
Yes, I love that. I know a lot of people love that about you too. I mean, I can understand that. Some people, we have a hard time getting over ourselves or getting out of our little routines. You need somebody like you to come in and shift the atmosphere, if you will.
Gotta shift it, okay? I have to. I have no choice.
I love it. I love it. So you got to talk to us about where the name The Truth, where did that come from? Where did that originate? And what does it represent to you personally?
Listen, this all started from me being asked to be on the radio. I was like 18 years old, and somebody was like, I used to make random videos on Snapchat, and somebody was like, "You need to be on the radio." And I'm like, "What?"
Mm,
And they like, "Yeah." I'm
mm.
like, "Okay." And then they were like, "What's your name?" I'm like, Tasia. They're like, "No, like, what's your radio name?" I'm like, "I'm supposed to have one." I didn't know. And so they were like, pray about it. And so I prayed. And then God gave me the truth. And so I was like, okay. And the reverence behind it was, he said that the truth shall set you free. And so every time I speak it, I'm breaking shackles and setting folk free. That's the whole purpose of the truth.
Amen. I love that. You are breaking chains around here just by speaking the truth. Okay, I love that. Can you share a little bit of behind the founding of I Was Made for This, and what season of your life did that was that given birth?
Listen, one thing before I touch on that, you said something that was so key. You said, we always say this not supposed to be like this, right? But who are we to say it's not supposed to be? God is so intentional. So what if it is supposed to be exactly the way it is, right? It's supposed to look messy. It's supposed to look like you don't know because you're not in control. God is in control. And so we have to take a step back and stop saying that it's not supposed to be. Like, who says it's not? If it wasn't, he wouldn't allowed it to happen. So it is supposed to be like this, right? The whole I was made for this, it got birthed in this season of my life. I took a chance and I heard God tell me to move to Dallas, Texas. And baby, folks thought I was crazy. They like, you about to uproot leave? I'm like, yes. Like, God told me to go to Dallas, and they couldn't, they couldn't fathom it, right? But I had to listen to God and not to people, because even though they wanted me to stay there, God said it was time for me to move. And so of course, I had all the doubts naturally in my flesh, but God was like, you just have to trust me. And so I did. And I got up, I moved. And in the midst of the process of the ugly, the changing, he birthed, I was made for this, to let me know that you're made for everything that is about to happen for you, everything that you have already been through. And Jeremiah 29:11, he said, for I know the plans that I have for you, right? Plans not to harm you, but to bring you joy. So before you were formed or created in your mother's womb, he knew you. So he already knew everything that was going to happen. And so you were made for this. And so I came to speak to every person to let them know you were made for this. Every trial, every tribulation, every up, every down, you were made for it. And so that's the whole purpose of I Was Made for This LLC.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Forgive me. I'm literally just sitting here in awe. I want to go, if you don't mind, I want to go back to what you said about it had to be this way. It had to be ugly. I feel like God, I mean, all throughout the Bible, God has always shown up in the ugly. In the ugly, in the dark, as I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Like, listen, like, I love that you said that because some we don't I mean, come on, no one's signing up for the ugly. We don't want that.
Nobody. No, they even when folk be like, I gotta get my life together first before I
Yeah,
tell you.
right,
Like, what? He
right.
said, "Come as you are." And you know what's
Mm,
so key? No, every disciple he chose, they was in their ugly place, right? They
okay,
was
yeah,
a thief, they was a
yes,
robber, they was, everything
yes,
that you can think of. The one that
yeah,
folk overlook is
yeah.
he pulled them out and brought beauty to the ashes. And
Amen.
so that's it right there.
Mm, I love that. So I want to say this. You said that you were made for this. What were you going through? What were you kind of like wrestling with when you had to pick up and I we were talking about your accent, right? So you had to pick up from Louisiana and you went to Dallas. Did you have any family there? What was rehearsing in your mind? Did you hear God keep saying, "Girl, you were made for this daughter go." Like, talk
Yeah.
to us about that, cause
Man, oh, it's been heck of a season, I would say. Like, I literally had to leave behind everything that I thought that I knew, right? And who I was. So not only was he doing a fleshly change, but was also doing a spiritual change in me. And I was in a place in a season of literally, he broke all of me and stripped everything of the identity that I put on myself from what the world gave me and not who he called me to be. And so it was everything from every cry, every tear. Nobody talks about those transition seasons of the becoming, right? And
Ooh,
so it looks ugly. Every tear, every, why are you doing this? Why
yeah.
me? I don't
Right.
want this. I didn't ask
Right.
for it. I'm all
Right.
alone. Like, I didn't know anybody. I'm just moved. And I had to trust God in the midst of that. And so in the process of it, he changed everything. I rededicated my life to him in October of 2025.
Yes, Tasia.
Yes. I said, this
Congratulations.
time it has to be for real this time. I cannot lean over the fence. No. And he said, okay, it's time. And I did that, and literally he took the roof off. And I have been in a place with him that I have never been before. And he literally gave me community. I joined an amazing church. And it's called Liberate Dallas. And it's changing me so much. And this were all of I was made for this, all in the sequence, got birthed, even down to my devotional book. He had me write in the midst of it. And it's called I Was Made for This. This is where purpose meets destiny.
Yes, yes, and congratulations to you for hearing that, Tasia. When you first started to wrestle with the purpose and in a real way, right? Like not just you said you was like, God, I'm done. Okay, I'm done. I'm not flip flop. Like, what is it? So, not just the concept, but the calling. What did that look like to you?
Oh man. You you be called since birth, right? And the call, oh man, I the call is so the opposite of who I thought I was, right? I was like, I'm such an introvert. I don't like people. What are you doing? And he was like, yeah, you may feel like that, but your call is extroverted. And so he first had to teach me how to love. I had to love his people like he loved them. And I had to see them. But in order to see them, I first had to be the miracle first before I can perform miracles. I first had to go through a healing before I can heal somebody. I first had to go through the breaking, the shedding, the beating, all of that in order for my oil to flow. And that's the seasons people don't talk about, right? But it was necessary. This whole season was necessary. Every tear was necessary. Every let go, every remove, like he tore the tomboy out of me. He said, you gotta be soft in this season. Like, I have to take you to another place and you can't stay the same. And so everything has to break. And literally, I had to break it. And it was a season of surrenderance. And I was made for this. You have to surrender first so that he could teach the identity. I had to learn who I was in him instead of what the world tried to paint me out to be. And yeah.
Wow, girl, let him use you. You are He had to strip you of everything that you thought, all of what society has said you were, all the trauma, everything. God had to peel it off of you in order for you to see yourself in Him. I love what you said. How did your understanding and identity change once faith became the personal instead of inherited?
Oh, that was so good. Oh, that was good. That you said. I listen, I think first we have to stop looking at God as if he's a genie in a bottle, right? And we had to take on the inheritance that I'm a child of Christ. And I had to have real conversations with him. I had to ask myself, why is it hard for me to fully give myself to you? Why is it that I can't let you just take control? Why do I have to always be in survival mode and have to be the one to always do it and have it in my hands? And he brought me back to childhood things and things that I went through trauma, right? And so I said, "Oh, it was hard for me to love you because I've been abandoned. It's hard for me to trust you and look at you like my parent because I've had some wounds that needed to be healed during parents. And at the same time, it's I've been alone. I'm like, how I know you're not gonna leave me too? How I know that you're gonna stay here? How do I know that you're not finna hurt me on purpose? How do I know, right, that you're gonna stay with me?" And so he had to literally walk me through, and I had to heal the little girl inside of me. I had to literally say, "You can let me go now." It's okay. I trust him. And when I looked at him like my father, I had those conversations with him, and I had to allow him to love me. And once I allowed him to love, he taught me how to love. And now I could embrace that soft girl in me. I can embrace the faith. Like, I know you can do it. I tasted and seen the goodness of you. You've never left me nor forsake me. You carried me my whole life when I wanted to commit suicide, when I battled identity, when I was about to lose my mind. Folk don't talk about that. When I was in a place because of the call. Just because you don't accept him yet doesn't mean you're not called. He said, many are called, but few are chosen. I've been chosen since birth. And so all those things I went through was all a part of the process. It was necessary, but he's never left me. And the moment I said, I receive you in my life was in the moment that everything started to make sense. And I accepted that identity of being a child of God first before the call.
Oh my goodness. Ooh wee, Tasia, he is using you. Talk to us about some of us are holding on to a lot. Some of us are holding on to that baggage or that way of life that we cannot escape. Talk to us about your biggest weight that you had to let go. You knew that was holding you back and kept you going back every time.
I'm all I got. I have to be hard. I can't cry. I can't show them that I'm weak. You not gonna be here. I do this myself. And I think that was the biggest battle for me. Even now in the midst of this season that I'm surrendering to him is that it's okay. This season won't be like the last season. Even if it may show signs of it, it's not that season. And God didn't just bring me this far just to bring me this far. And I can't allow the enemy, right? Because listen, they folk be like, oh, he just the enemy doing this and that. No, sometimes it's you. You
Yeah.
gotta take accountability. It be you.
Yeah.
All he knows is the patterns that you showed him. All he
Yeah.
knows is the cycles that you continue to do and
To
produce.
do.
It's time to do something different. I gotta respond differently this season. I can't keep running. I was a track
Yeah.
star. I was running from this thing.
Come on.
That's me. Oh, I have to respond differently. So instead of getting upset and shutting down, I gotta talk about it. I gotta give it to him. I gotta push this through. God, I need your help. I can't do this by myself. You're the only one that can do this for me. So I'ma lean on you. And that's literally the battles that I've been getting through in this season.
Wow. Oh, Tasia, this is so good. This is so good. Look. Come on, I want to talk deeper. I want to talk about that healing and that pain in the process. So you talk openly about repurposing your pain. What is something painful that God has used in your life that just didn't make any sense at the time?
There's purpose in the pain. There's purpose in the pain. One thing is that I battled so much of competing to be loved, and seeing if I matter. Why am I here? Not understanding, right? I feel so alone my entire life, and it's always been something, one thing after another, one thing after, and I'm like, when am I ever gonna enjoy life? What? Why is it constantly? I'm constantly going through things. Why am I battling when I'm not doing anything? It's always something. And so the process, God had to tell me it's not about you. And it humbled me because I said, what you
Woo!
mean? It's not about me.
What
I'm
is
not
happening
ready.
to me?
It's happening to me, right? But it's not about that. It's about who's connected to your yes. What who and is connected to the call of your life. Why are you going? It's not about you. Move you out the way. And I had to think. He reminded me about Jesus when Jesus said, "Can this can this pass me?" And it reminded me, Jesus. It wasn't about Jesus anymore at that point. It was about who was connected to Him. Who that if He didn't die on that cross, right? We wouldn't have been free. Oh, I'm feeling the spirit, my God. And we were connected. We were connected to him. And he showed me that it's not about you. And I love you, right? But it's purpose in the midst of this pain. They're married. You can't have purpose without the pain. You can't have pain without the purpose. It's all a part of it. And so if I just get the understanding that it's not about me, It's about who's connected to me. I have to say yes. And the longer I'm waiting, there's somebody else waiting. Do I want to be the cause that they haven't accepted God? Do I want to be the one that allows them to keep suffering? I got to make it out of this because they're connected to me. So I got to go through this pain in order to reach my purpose.
Oh my goodness, I love it. Oh my goodness. How do you distinguish between a season of waiting and a season of preparation?
Oh, that is so good. Actually, I think they're hand in hand, right? I can't just be waiting and not preparing for something. You can even take, you know, listen, even it comes when it comes down to marriage, right? And a spouse. In the midst of me waiting for my husband, he's preparing me to be a wife. You first have to be the wife before being the wife. Before, listen, Adam called her out before he made her that. And so God is in the midst of preparing me for what is to come. Yes, I'm waiting in the season. He may have me covered in everything that he has for me, but in the midst of it, what are you doing in the wait? That's so good. What are you doing? I have to look. I have to put you first. Show me where's the blueprint. Where's the evidence? What do I have to do? What else do you want me to shed off of me for where I'm about to go? What is it that you want to add to me? What is it that's inside of me that I don't know yet that you got to birth up out of me in this next season? Help me make it make sense for me, right? And so preparation comes with the waiting. And how he shows us that sometimes is if he restructures or rechanges your plans, right? He said to write it out and make it plain. But a lot of times too, when he said, I'll give you the desires of my heart. And so in order for me to accept, I first have to shift my will into his will. And so now I'm about to ask him some things that he already has been waiting to give me. He's just waiting for me to ask him for it. And the moment that I shift my will, I start thinking like him now. And so now I'm asking what he wants me to ask. And now he's going to give it to me according to his will. And so in the midst of that, everything is changing. Everything.
Mm. 'Cause I love this, let him use you. I love how we're talking about shifting our mind, and to ask those questions, to be like Christ. Let me ask you, how do we silence those internal voices that say we're disqualified, that say we're rejected, that say we're forgotten, that say it's too late for us? How do we
Yeah.
get over that?
First, you got to know where it's originating from. And first, God said that my sheep know my voice, right? And so when you hear the enemy tell you something that you're not, you counteract that and tell him what you are. And when he tries to tell you what you are, you tell him what you're not at the end of the day. And so you have to distinct and understand, am I in my feelings? Because a lot of times we gotta move up out of our feelings and level up in our faith. And these are things that folk don't want to hear, but this is where the truth comes because I gotta set you free. Now, this is you and it ain't the enemy. You feel like you're not qualified enough because you've been through some things that try to tell you that you wasn't. You feel like you're not good enough because you hurt too many no's, but the yes was around the corner, but you just stopped there. Like you stopped when it was right there. And when it comes down to making diamonds, there's pressure. Either we gonna we gonna make this diamond, but I gotta go through the pressure of it, right? In order for something to be birthed. And I like to think of the butterfly. In order to get that caterpillar to turn into the butterfly, it had to go through some things in that cocoon. The pressure of the changing, the things of breaking and shedding off, all of that in order to become something. And so if I hear the enemy try to feed me nonsense that I used to go through, you're gonna have to try something new because that was me last season. That ain't me this season.
That
And
ain't
then you
me.
you gotta keep saying it.
Mm.
Even if you don't believe it, you better keep saying it until you do believe it. Because it's God, you gotta feed it. He said to you have to seek him every day, right? The word. And you have to die to yourself every day. Carry your cross. I have to fight this thing. We're at war every day.
Every
And the
day.
enemy don't want you to be who you're called to be. Gotta
Mm.
prove them wrong in this season.
Amen. Oh my goodness. And okay. I love what you're saying. And I love how you say when you're right at the finish line, you got to keep going because that yes could be right around the corner. But we sometimes stop right? But talk to us about the role of consistency and how that plays such a huge part in our journey, especially when we're especially when we're moving towards something that God has already shown us, put into inside of our heart.
Yeah, cause this was all in plan. This is all in purpose, and we stop when we're right there at that point because it's hurting, right? I don't wanna hurt no more, but you have to. You never know what is around the corner. If you just keep holding on, right? There's another opportunity. There's another day. There's something coming. One of these days, something's about to shift, and you have to keep saying that to yourself. If it ain't today, tomorrow's about to shift. I'm gonna keep saying it until it gets to shifting because God said, if I make you ruler over little, right, and you can steward that, imagine what I could do with you more. And a lot of times He just wants to see some things. A lot of times you have to be placed in a situation that's going to bring what's in you out of you that you don't even know that's in there, right? So I have to get placed where my back is against the wall just to find out how much I got in me that I can get through. If He doesn't test you, then how would you know what you've overcome?
Mm, mm,
I
mm,
gotta get
mm.
tested in order to see the goodness and the evidence of God, right? I have to, just like you in school. How do I know you receiving the knowledge and information if I don't test you in order to see if you pass the test? Just right back now.
Teach us today, okay? I am literally sitting here on the edge of my seat right now, like jumping, like, this is so good, Tasia. Tasia, I love how you are able to hear God's voice, and God told you to get up and move, and you did, and a lot of us kinda struggle with, making sure that we hear God's voice. I want you to tell us how you learned to trust your voice, especially when it didn't make sense and it didn't fit the mold.
Listen, a lot of my life didn't make sense. But honestly, He shows me, right, of why I should have the confidence that I need to, because He'll prove it to me. A lot of times we get afraid to test Him, right? But He said, Test me and see." And so, I would, when it came down to my call and the prophetic and all these things, a lot of times He would test me. I would randomly see somebody or something, and He'll unction me to say what I need to say to them, and I'll be like, that's crazy. They gonna look at me like I'm crazy. Like, why would you do that? But then he just do it, right? And I was like, okay, so I did it. And when they confirm the things that God has said, He like, I just need you to keep trusting me. And so that within itself built the confidence of who He is and His voice inside of me. And so I'm like, okay, I have to. I just gotta just do it. Just like Nike say, just I gotta just do it.
Do it.
Because
Do it
I'll be a
afraid.
fool.
Do it.
Do it. That's all you do it afraid. Do it scared. Do it when other folk don't care. When they don't want you to do it. Just do it. Cause I'd rather be a fool to do it than be a fool not to do it.
And walk in disobedience.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, and then get to a
Um,
season I don't have to.
no. No, it's the
Yeah.
let me ask you, what advice would you give someone who is afraid to do it? Who is like, "God, there's no way," and they're afraid to fully show up in as themselves. They feel like they're lacking something.
If I would tell you to God already knew what you were gonna do before you did it. God has already have you everything is already set up for you. All you have to do is just get out your own way and trust God. God is about to blow your mind in this season, and you have to just do it. You were made for this. You were called for it. This is all a part of the purpose. This was necessary. So just do it. Do it afraid. Do it scared. Do it by yourself without anybody else. Just do it. You don't always need an audience because He does His great work alone in that secret place. Just do it.
I love it. Isn't that true? Sometimes we always feel like, okay, this is not gonna happen until I get this many or until I, have somebody watch, but God wants to teach you. It's like, what did He say to Jeremiah when He said, "I can't say this, I'm just a boy." God said, "I will
Yeah.
put my words in your
Yeah.
mouth."
Yes. That's
Mm.
so good. That's the perfect scripture, literally, for this moment.
Mm, Okay, let me ask you, how do you balance both faith and humility and obedience?
Oh my God. They're all intertwined. One thing
Yeah.
though is that you have to be careful not to have fake humility. that turns into pride, right?
Ooh, that's
A
good.
lot of people, oh, they be like, oh, that's stop it, oh, don't do that, and because they be faking it, right? But it be pride sometimes, and you can't. But the obedience, just remaining humble and remember where your help comes from. I think that's the biggest thing, right? It's not you. And so always I make sure that I always pray that you lead me. You speak to me, that you kill this flesh that ever tries to rise up thinking that it's better than, or that they know you good enough, like, oh, I got access to you, like nobody. No, baby. No,
Mm,
we not.
mm,
We're not, because he will
mm.
humble you very quickly, okay?
Very
No,
quickly.
I don't ever want to get to that place. And I tell him, God, I don't ever want to not fear you. I fear saying something that you ain't never said. I fear trying to go above you, thinking that I'm you at this point. No, never. And so that's so big. God, show me, lead me. Keeping him first aligns your obedience, but also keeps you humble enough to know that you need him. Seek him. He's the one that gives you the strength. He's the one that gives you the endurance. He's the one that gives you the confidence. It's him. And so if you continue to seek him first, you will stay obedient. You will stay humble the correct way and in alignment and not out of it.
That's the key word, in alignment. Oh, I love what you said. You said, "Be careful not to let your faith, humility turn." What did you faith, humility turn into pride?
Pride, yeah, into pride, because people will do that, and then they be like, "Oh, I don't wanna go up there." When he say, "Go up there and pray," or so, and they're being disobedient, and they don't wanna listen to him, and it turns into pride when they claim that it's them being humble, but you're choosing not to follow your call. You're choosing to not be obedient to who God is calling you to be. "Oh, I'm just gonna sit down this season. Oh, I don't wanna do anything in the church. I don't want them." No, no. No, baby. Now it's that pride. Get it? Now you're being disobedient. Now he sees within it. Because if you was truly being humble, he would know. He could read through that. He knows. Who are you faking?
Mm,
Trust him. It's
that's good.
okay.
That's good. That's so good. Tisha, that's good. I'm sorry, I looked at it that way, but that is that's so good, and see, this is why God, I already said it, I said it for so long. God is calling the people. He is calling his people to come
Yeah.
out and speak truth. Speak truth. And it's so crazy because he says it reminds me of Elijah when he thought that he was the one being hunted by Jezebel, and he was like, "I'm all alone. She done killed all the prophets." And God was like, "Hey, Elijah, calm down. I got people.
Yeah.
You are not the only
Listen,
one."
you're not the only one.
And I know without a shadow of a doubt that this is a season that God is calling all his people, everyone who's been working in the dark, working in silence. He is calling them for to speak his truth.
Yes.
Okay, I'm
Yes.
sorry. I just got scared away. Okay,
No,
come on.
come
Wait,
on.
let me ask you, what does it mean to you to steward your voice well?
Oh, that is so good. One thing is continue being authentically me, right? A lot of times on you can watch folk on social media and things, and you can get to idolizing because you can see that they're trending or they're followers. But stewarding my voice well is one, and continuing to have the authenticity of who I am, right? Not shifting from who he called me to be in order to pull a crowd that God didn't even call me to. Stay aligned to who God is. There's a full assigned to me, and because of who I am and the authenticity of who I am, then that's what's going to bring them to me. And so staying and then also seeking Him, right? Staying in prayer, never swaying out, and because there's always something. There's always something I need to level up on. There's always something that I need to grow. There's always something that needs to die. There's always something, and so making sure that my voice is never tainted is the biggest thing, because it's his people. God don't play about his people at all. And I don't ever want him to say, get away from, I never knew you. No, never, never. Oh God. I need to hear, well done, my good and faithful servant. You did it. Regardless of how you felt. You did it.
I love what you said, Tasia, and I talk about this a lot, that one of my biggest prayers, like, God, please work out whatever you need to work out in me so I don't hurt your people. Sometimes we were moving in our own hurt that we can unin that we can hurt his people. God, help me to get right because I don't want you to send nobody, or God, I know you're not going to send me somebody and I'm not healed in this area. Or I'm not, so this is why it's so important to work on ourselves, to ask God to wipe our hearts clean, creating us a clean heart so we can worship him. I mean, I love what you said right there. I think it's such a servant heart for you to say. I mean, oh my gosh. I love it, love it, love it. Mm. Use your Lord. Okay, let me get on track. Let me what what challenges come with building purpose, a purpose-driven brand, excuse me, while staying spiritually grounded?
Everything can come your way. Everything worldly comes your way, right? Everything that makes you feel like, I gotta change some things, or maybe I should just add this to bring this in, and we taint the very thing that God gave us. This isn't mine. I was made for this. Isn't my business. It's God's business. My book isn't my book. It's God's book. And so he is the one that when he say write the vision and make it plain, he gives us what the vision should be. This isn't mine. And so I think a lot of folk get so carried away because they be like, this my business. This is my thing. This is what I'm doing. No, it's not, baby. It's not yours. This is his. And when you start moving like that, then you allow him to lead you and take your hands off of it. And so having a faith-based brand, oh man, it right now it seemed like being a Christian is a popularity thing.
Oh, you took the question right out of my mouth. I was going to talk about it. Keisha, I need you to talk about it.
It's like it's crazy. It seems like everybody just want to be a Christian because it look good. Where the listen, but they don't be ready for what comes with this thing. Do you know that what's that old saying? Was you with me shooting in the gym? No, you wasn't with me. This thing, I paid for this oil. This oil cost me my entire life. You don't understand what this is. And I say that's because, yeah, I was just telling my best friend, I said, everybody, it's funny how a lot of folk they respect other religions but make a joke out of being a Christian. And,
Uh-huh.
and it's
Right.
entertainment.
Right.
And I think it's because we don't put enough respect on it, right?
Right.
And they only see the glitz and glamours of it. But no, this thing, where are you at when I'm crying? When he wakes me up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, when I'm weeping over the nation, where are you at? When he's shedding me and he's breaking me, then he's removing people that I want to stay, right? Because I want them to be here, but he don't want them to be here for this next part of my life. Where was you at when he takes the desires of the world away from me and I have to go through the wilderness season and all these different things? I can't do what they're doing. Where is it at? And nobody talks about it. They talk about just wanting to be in the front and having the mic. Being a Christian is way more than having a mic.
Yes.
Baby,
Yes, you are picking up your cross.
listen and carrying it. I didn't ask for this thing. I didn't ask for him to choose me. I didn't ask for the call. No, he chose me. And so that's what made it even more painful, right? Is because I had to do something against my will so his will can be done until my will aligned to his will. And now I'm all about the purpose. And I just feel like a lot of folk don't talk about that. And this is not about being popular. This is not about being cute. I feel like being a Christian, we the hardest disciples that you
Listen to
ever
me.
the been through.
It is a thing. I love Tasha, I love the fact that teacher, I love the fact that you're talking about this. And I wanted to get your perspective because you are speaking truth and there is a lot. And I always felt like I've been saying this for years. I'm like, I just, there's a stirring in the spirit that this is going to be the thing. I mean, people who ain't never thank God for a thing, and they like everybody thank God. Everybody on the need praying. And I'm happy for it. I love to see it, but I wonder what the truth behind it is.
Yeah, because that's the heart. Yeah, because they know that it's gonna pull people. They know that, it's something that's if I can get the crowd or the genre of a Christian, oh, we in there, right? That's what they feel like. Oh, we in there. We doing numbers. If you notice, even in the industry, a lot of people that did secular music, now they crossing over to want to do gospel, and not even keeping up with it. But he said, what's done in the dark will always come to light, right? He said, judge them by the fruit. Let me see your fruit. Let me see the evidence in it, right? It's not bearing. And so I pray that my fruit is evidence of the goodness of God, that I'm not birthing anything stillbirth in this season. Everything has to come into flourishing. And it's just not a game. And I'm gonna tell you the real, because this walk ain't easy. Even though they paint the picture to be cute, it's not easy. And you gotta really have some resilience and some you gotta be consistent in this thing. You can't be lukewarm, this pulling out, this jumping in when it feel good. No, this is not no tickle my belly. This a real thing. It's time for some meat, enough
Come
milk
on. Come on.
in this season. So yeah. Yeah.
Tasia. Or how do you avoid not turning your purpose into pressure? Mm.
I naturally I think my purpose applies pressure.
Oh,
And I like that. I think I'm gonna
the
get that.
everyone around them. Come on. I'm about to call
But
you out.
it's all a part of it, because pressure, it's either gonna bust pipes or make diamonds. And so I have to trust God in the midst of it and not get in my own way, and not get in my own head, right? And this is where you have to move your feelings out and level up in the faith. Because if I keep allowing, I can add so much extra weight than what God is even has on me, because I'm in my head here. I'm allowing the enemy to speak some things. I'm getting distracted. And if I just take my hand off of it and let him do what he does, instead of me always gotta be in control, let him be the one that is the control. And I think when you do that, it alleviates the pressure some, and it lifts up and it becomes easier. I think a lot of times it's us that make it hard, because we don't want to let go of things. And we just, when your parents tell you don't touch the stove and you just want to keep touch, let me see how
Right.
I like that.
Right.
And so they do
Right.
it, and we're literally kids, even though we're grown and we're adults, but we're his children, and we are literally just like that. And it's time to bring it back to the childlike faith, where I have to lean on you for everything. Not that I know it all, not that I think I've been through this last season. This gonna be the same. No, baby, it's a new thing. I have to lean on him.
That's good. That is so good. Let me ask you, what keeps you anchored when comparison or burnout tries to creep in?
Remembering what I'm doing this for. I think that's the main thing of why I'm anchored, because there is somebody that needs to hear something. There needs somebody. I make my videos. I'm viral on TikTok and Instagram, and there's always someone that say, I needed this. I look forward to your video. Like, I need. You don't understand what it does for me, and that within itself, it fuels me. It anchors me, but it also keeps me humble enough to know that I have to do this thing, right? There's somebody that is anticipating to receive a response for something that they're going through. There's someone. I remember I was on live one time, and somebody was like, I was literally wanted to commit suicide, and then you came on here. It had to be a sign, right? You just never know what somebody else is going through. And they're like, your very words just spoke to me, like, I have to live. You do have to live. And
Mm,
so it's things
mm,
like that
mm.
keeps me anchored to be like, what if I decide to be in my feelings and not want to do this? And somebody
Right.
was waiting for me, right?
Mm,
And it's things like that. This is where he reminds me that this isn't about you again, right? This way he brings me back to it, to understand that this is so much bigger than me. This
yeah.
is so much greater than me. And if I don't do it, he gonna get somebody else to do it. Somebody's
Amen.
gonna do it, because
Yeah.
it has to be fulfilled, right?
Right.
I don't want to miss out on who God is calling me to be. I can't miss the mark. Not in this
Not
season.
in this season.
Mm-mm.
Oh, that's so good. Obedience, obedience. We got to get out of our own way. Let me ask you for what would you say to someone right now who is listening to us, and they feel like life just didn't turn out the way they had prayed? What would you say to them?
A lot of times we have our own desires. A lot of times we have the own things of what we want for life. I thought I was either gonna be in the WNBA or I was gonna be some artist's lawyer, but that's what I wanted. And I had to ask God, what do you want from me? Who did you originally call me to be when you formed me and created me in my mother's womb? What was I destined to be? Take me back to that original blueprint. Take me back to the beginning. And when you allow God to show you who you were or who you're called to be, it's so much greater than what you thought that you was gonna be. This is so much greater. Following purpose is so much greater. Being in alignment to his will is so much greater. I wouldn't trade this for nothing at all. I'd rather have this than have anything else that I could have thought, imagined that I wanted. This right here is the best thing I could have ever had in my life.
Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. Okay. I wanna ask you, how can people stay faithful when they feel just unseen, overlooked? I've been trying.
Sometimes you could feel unseen or overlooked because you're around folk that don't have the capacity for you. And so I had to listen, stop. I had to pray because you have a tribe of your own. You have folks that have the capacity for you that God has specifically called for you. And because we may feel like we're in a shirt, oh, nobody sees me, I'm being overlooked, they don't want me. It's not that they don't want you, they were never called to you. And so you gotta change your prayer. God, align me with people that you've called for me. Align me to folk that have the capacity for me. Align me to the people that you want me to be connected for in this season. Nothing temporary, but everything substantial. God, give me what you have assigned to me. And
Mm.
then the moment he does that, everything changes. And now you're the one being seen. You're being loved. You're
Come
coming out
on.
of a certain identity that you placed on yourself. You know, a lot of people truly aren't introverts. They just allowed their situation to place them into that, and they
Mm.
became that. And God never called them to that, right? And
Yeah.
so when you get around people that you're called to, they bring out who you're supposed to be since the very beginning. He has to strip you from the identity that you placed on you so he can put you and birth you into who he originally called you to be.
Wow, that is so good. It reminds me of, I think, another part of what you're saying. On the other half is, God, thank you for hiding me from the
Yeah.
people who didn't
Thank
mean
you.
me any good.
Oh,
Thank you for
yes.
hiding me.
Thank you. The hiding season is people think it's so
Mm,
bad, but this is the season where he makes you in your hiding. He
yeah,
spends time with you that you dwell in the secret place with him. This
yeah.
is the best place that you can be. This where relationship grows. And thank you for hiding me. Yes, thank you
Thank
for
you.
removing people that needed to be gone.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Right, you preserve me. Let me ask you, what would you say, Tasha, to some people who are feeling stuck right now, feeling stuck between their promise and their fulfillment? What is one thing that they can do this week to get out of that mindset?
Oh, speak into where you're going. I would say that, right? And I think when we lose sight of the promise is when we start getting discouraged and we don't allow God to pour into us. Seek him and every little thing, right? And it may seem so small, but he says, seek me into what you're gonna eat, what you're gonna wear, what you're gonna put on. And when you start just allowing God to love on you, and then you start speaking into where you're about to go, God, I know recall the word that he's already said over your life. God, you said that I was an overachiever. You said I could do all things to you that strengthens me. You said that I could move past this mountain. God, you said that I was the head and not the tail. You said I was above and not beneath. need. God, you said that the last shall be first and the first shall be last. So you start speaking those things and reminding. And when you start reminding, then it starts to fill you up. It starts to pour into you. And then here comes the confidence, right? Here comes your strength. Here comes the joy. And then now I can start getting, I can move forward. I can get through this thing. I can speak this thing. He said I would never be defeated. So
Mm.
I would recommend doing it.
Here comes the confidence. Yes, I think that's the first time I heard that. Yes. Okay. What's something that God is teaching you right now in this season?
Oh, just trust and surrender. I it's one thing, when you hear all these prophetic words about like where you gonna be and all these things,
Yeah.
and it's like, okay, guys, speed it up. I'm waiting. You said
You
it, right?
said.
You said and so it's me just allowing it to come to pass, right? Allowing to see the evidence of it and just trusting him. I think that's the place that I am. Since I released my book, my 31-day devotional, I've been in a place where I'm like, God, I know you told me to do that. I know you told me to put it out. I know you said it's gonna change some people's lives. I'm waiting on this change.
Yes, but this still
What
happened, right?
what's it gonna do, right? And I just gotta trust the
Mm,
process.
yeah.
Trust it. We a lot of folk have the microwavable faith, and they don't have the home cooked from
Oh,
scratch
you
faith.
better
Okay,
stop it right now.
listen, they don't have the home cooked from scratch. They want something you could just pop in and then bing, come right back out. But God said, no, I need you to do this thing from scratch. I need you to get that flour out. I need you to mix that thing to get them lumps out. Like, I need this from scratch. And because you're from scratch, right? And so because you're original and authentic and not, copied, right? I'm the real deal. I'm the brand, right? I'm not a counterfeit. I'm not the substitute item. No, I'm what he originally designed. And so because of that, I got to go through the process. I want it to be made correctly. I don't want to have to repeat this thing. I've learned some things. And so I'm in that season of surrendering and trusting the process.
Yes, you are, girl. You better let them use you. Let them use you. Cooking from scratch. It's gonna be good, okay? Uh, A to Z. Okay. How can listeners stay connected with your work, and how can they pick up a copy of that book?
Oh my gosh. Now you could definitely stay connected with me on TikTok at DATRUTH323. You can also reach me on Instagram at DATRUTH0323. And if you want to pick up a copy of my book, you can go to madeforthis.com /shop. And that's my website. You can contact me on there as well. I'm at madeforthis.com.
Okay. All right. Well, sounds good. I'm so excited. Let me ask you one last question. Well, maybe. What do you hope that people walk away with after listening to this episode?
I want people to walk away with knowing that they were made for this, that this is where purpose meets destiny, and that you were made for everything that you were going through. It was on purpose for purpose, and it's necessary. So if you don't get anything else out of this whole interview, get that you were made for purpose and you were made for this.
I love it so much. Tasia, you came here and you filled up these wells. They are overflowing. And I promise you, I know that so many women listening are going to be blessed by this message. Living in our truth, walking in confidence, and knowing that we were made for such a time as this.
Yes.
Come on. Thank you so much,
Thank
me and my
you.
special
Thank
guest.
you. Thank you so much for having me.
Of
Listen,
course.
you were made for this.
Look, can I get a shirt? Can I get a hoodie or something?
Yes,
Like,
you can.
look, let's
I would
go.
definitely send you. Yes, I will send you. I
Yeah.
have merch as well. So yes,
Okay,
I will.
good. Okay, can we find that on your website?
Yes, you can also find it on my website as
Okay,
well.
let's
Yes.
go. All right, I love it. I love it. Okay, Ladies, I want to thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Woman Witness podcast on the Woman Witness TV network. I want you to I want you to subscribe, send this to a sister who just needs a pick me upper, who's in a season where she may feel like, God, are you still here? God, I'm still leaning on you. I'm still waiting on your word. Am I truly where I need to be? Send it to them. Just send it to them. Give them no explanations, okay?
Yes.
And I want you guys to follow Tasia on all social media. Grab that book if you grab it, snap a picture, tag us on social media. We'd love to hear your thoughts and hear about it. All right, ladies, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Woman Witness podcast. And perhaps you were chosen for such a time as this to write, to tell your story, your truth. Until next time.
Bye, y'all.